So let's start of female reproductive system. See, regarding the female reproductive system, as I told you last day, that female, like the male, female reproductive system is composed of pair of ovaries, and that pair of ovaries is the primary sex organ. So carefully remember that this pair of ovaries is the primary sex organ. Next is accessory duct. Within the accessory duct, two fallopian tube is here, uterus 1 in number, and vagina. Within the external genitalia, mons pubis, vestibule, hymen, and clitoris. Mons pubis, vestibule, hymen, and clitoris. So these are the external genitalia. Within the accessory duct, oviduct or fallopian tube 2 in number, uterus 1, vagina 1. So these are the accessory ducts. In case of the pair of ovary, remember, this is, I told you, this is the primary sex organ. It produces the ova. It produces ova. Okay, and the ovarian hormone, which is known as estrogen and progesterone. So ovarian hormone, it's known as estrogen. This estrogen, remember, this is produced by mature Graafian follicle. Remember, this is produced by mature Graafian follicle. Okay, and progesterone is produced by corpus luteum. Progesterone produced by corpus luteum. So very important information. So primary sex organ, as the ovary, it produces the ovum, and the hormone as estrogen and progesterone. So here you can see the structure of ovary. This is the structure of ovary, and that ovary is connected with the fallopian tube. This is the portion of fallopian tube. So it's connected by the ligament. So these are the ligament. That is the portion of ligament on your screen, left hand side. So this is the portion of the ligament. Here you can see these are the portion of ligament. This is the portion of ligaments. Okay, so on your screen, that is the cross section of the ovary. If we do the cross section, the ovary, it's look like that type of structure. So initially the mother follicle is called as primary follicle. Primary follicle, it's developed into secondary follicle. Secondary follicle will develop into tertiary follicle. Then the tertiary follicle will develop into a mature Graafian follicle. So that is the mature Graafian follicle. This is the mature Graafian follicle. Then this mature Graafian follicle, see, if I discussed about the reproductive cycle in female, that means the menstruation cycle. Okay, so during that time, okay, if the day 1, it's the beginning of the bleeding flow. So day 1 to day 13, within day 13, within the 13 days, the mature Graafian follicle actually formed. And in the day 14th, this is happened in day 14th. So in the day 14th, the Graafian follicle rupture, and this one is coming out. This is known as the secondary oocyte. This is the secondary. This is secondary oocyte. So secondary oocyte comes out in the day 14th of the menstruation cycle, and thereby this rupture Graafian follicle, it's look like this, and later it will develop like just a cell of mass. So this is called as corpus luteum. This is called as corpus luteum. Okay, so from that corpus luteum, I told you that release progesterone, that release progesterone, okay. And this Graafian follicle, that mature Graafian follicle, actually release the hormone of estrogen. So there are two spelling of estrogen. One is OES, another is ES. So both of them are correct. So that is the development of follicle inside of the ovary. If you do the cross section of the ovary, it will look like this structure. Okay. So if I take the day 1 to day 14th, then day 1 to day 13, that is the development of the follicle. And in that stage, this is the follicular development, primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary to mature Graafian follicle. What happened? I just discussed you elaborately that in that stage, remember, FSH secretion is higher because that is the development of the follicle. So follicular development held by the follicular stimulating hormone. So the function of the follicular stimulating hormone in the development of the follicles. And as the mature Graafian follicle formed, okay, it releases estrogen. And as the estrogen release, it has two functions. It increase the LH value, luteinizing hormone value, it increase, and decrease FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, the ratio it decrease. So as the LH amount is high in the body, this is known as LH surge. So what I told you, that if you take like day 1 to day 13, day 1 to day 13, during that stage ovarian follicular development takes place, and that one is by the FSH hormone. In the day 14th, what happened? Ovulation takes place. So Graafian follicle rupture. As the Graafian follicle ruptured, this time in this day 14th, estrogen amount was estrogen was high, and thereby estrogen has two function. One is LH surge. What is LH surge? Because estrogen actually increase the value of LH and decrease the value of FSH. So thereby the Graafian follicle is ruptured in the day 14th. Okay. And the mass of cell, that means the ruptured Graafian follicle or the degenerating Graafian follicle, is called as corpus luteum. So the function of the corpus luteum, that it produces the progesterone. So total in the accessory duct, total 3 types of ducts are here on your screen. One, the first one, it's 2 oviduct or fallopian tube, 2 oviduct or fallopian tube, 1 uterus and 1 vagina. 2 oviduct, 1 uterus, 1 vagina. So that is the accessory duct. Now, if we look in the details of this oviduct or the fallopian tube, then here you can see the fallopian tube has its 3 parts: infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. Infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. So this is the portion of the ovary. This is the portion of ovary. So the rupture Graafian follicle release the secondary oocyte, or you can say ovum. Technically this is the secondary oocyte, and that one comes through that way. Okay, infundibulum, ampulla. So this is the portion of the ampullary ischemic junction. This is the portion of ampullary ischemic junction. So what happened in that ampullary ischemic junction? The fertilization takes place. Remember, the fertilization takes place. fertilization takes place here. Okay, so in the ampullary ischemic junction, that means the sperm had to travel. The sperm had to travel in a certain distance. So this is the sperm that had to travel that way, either on this side or to this side, either in any of the two sides. So that is the major important thing. Okay. So I told you that infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. In case of the uterus, here you can see in the uterus the total three types of wall is there. So the outside wall is known as perimetrium. So what is the function of the perimetrium? That from the outside it protects the female reproductive tract. This is the perimetrium, outer covering. Middle yellow color, this yellow color layer, it's known as myometrium. So what is myometrium? As the name suggests, myo means it's made up of muscles. It's made up of muscles. Okay, and the inner endometrium. So what is the function of this endometrial wall? The function of this endometrial wall, that is it's with the full of blood vessels. It's with the full of blood vessels. That means we can say this is the vascularized layer. So as I told you that uterus has its three wall, perimetrium, middle myometrium, and the inside endometrium. So the function of the perimetrium, that it's protect from the outside, myometrium, that is in the middle, and inside endometrium, that is actually highly vascularized, and that helps to prepare the bed for the developing fertilized ovum. Okay. Now, vagina. So as the opening, it's between the urethra and the anus. The opening of the vagina, it's in between the urethra and anus. Okay, so the lumen of vagina is lined by glycogen-rich mucous membrane consisting of sensitive papillae and Bartholin gland. Consisting of sensitive papillae and Bartholin gland. So what is Bartholin gland? Remember, Bartholin gland, like I told you, in male, there is Cowper's gland, all bulbourethral gland are there. So what is the function of that particular gland? That it's lubricate the penis during the sexual intercourse, and here also like the same, the Bartholin gland lubricate the penis during the sexual intercourse. So remember the function of the Bartholin gland in female, that lubricate the penis during the sexual intercourse. In case of mons pubis, so what is mons pubis? So the pubic hair which is present, this is known as the mons pubis. Next, vestibule. Vestibule, it's basically divided with the labia majora and labia minora. So what is labia majora? Labia majora means the larger outer folds here. The larger outer folds, which is fleshy, fatty, and hairy. Remember, what is labia majora? Labia majora, that means the larger outer folds, which is fleshy, which is fatty, and which is hairy. That outer folds is known as the labia majora. What is labia minora? The small, hairy, the small, hairless, thin layer, it's called as the labia minora. So what is the basic difference between the two layers? The one of the main important points regarding that labia majora and labia minora, that here the labia majora, it's the hairy outer folds. Please do remember, labia majora, it's the hairy outer folds. And in case of the labia minora, this is hairless. This is hairless inner folds. In case of the hymen just as a partial covering of the vaginal opening. And what is clitoris? Clitoris is the highly sensitive organ. Clitoris is highly sensitive organ. So please mark my word, clitoris is highly sensitive organ. Now, in case of the mammary gland, how the mammary gland formed and by which it formed? Mammary gland is basically formed of the tissue, and which type of tissue is that one? It's a glandular tissue. Remember, the type of tissue is glandular tissue. So the type of tissue is glandular tissue, okay, and fat. So how this glandular tissue formed? By 15 to 20 mammary lobes. By 15 to 20 mammary lobes, it actually formed. Okay, it containing the clusters of cells that is called as a mammary alveoli. It contains the cluster of cells that is called as mammary alveoli. So as I told you, the mammary gland is basically formed of glandular tissue and fat. In case of the glandular tissue of the each breast contain 15 to 20 mammary lobes, and each of that the entire mammary lobes containing the cluster of cells, this is called as a mammary alveoli. So just see the structure. If you see that structure, mammary alveoli, many mammary alveoli combine to form mammary tubules. Okay, here you can see that structure, many mammary alveoli combine to form many mammary tubules. So lots of tubules are formed to form a duct. All the ducts are joined together to form the ampulla, and all the ampulla are joined together to the lactiferous duct. So please write down that one in your book, so it will be remember how it formed. It will be remember later. Just mark this. So here you can see all these are mammary alveoli. All the alveoli are connected with the mammary tubule. Tubules are connected to form the duct. Ducts are connected to form the ampulla. Ampulla is connected to form the lactiferous duct. Please write down this one. So that is the formation of lactiferous duct through which the milk is ejected. Okay. Now, just tell me that answer. What will be the answer of that question? What is ovulation? The answer will be the release of ovum from the ovary. So please remember what is ovulation. Ovulation is the release of ovum from the ovary. So let's see the next question. The next question, the muscular layer of the uterus. The muscular layer of uterus is called as? The muscular layer of uterus called as? Quickly send me your answer. The muscular layer of uterus is called as? The muscular layer of uterus is called as? Quickly send your answer. The muscular layer. Yes, Alavindra, it's correct. It's myometrium. Myometrium. Muscular layer, it's called as myometrium. Next question. Which of the following organ is highly sensitive? 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 Clitoris, Bartholin gland, hymen, and mons pubis. So kindly tell me which of the following organ is highly sensitive? Yeah, clitoris. Clitoris. Only I get the answer from Vani and Alamilla. Where are the rest? So clitoris, it's the highly sensitive organ. Next question. Next question, that which part of the accessory ducts of the female reproductive system, which is not part of accessory duct of female reproductive system? Here, which part is not actually in the accessory duct of female reproductive system? Which part? Which part is not included in the female reproductive system, although in the ducts? It's Graafian follicle. It's Graafian follicle, because rest of like infundibulum, uterus, vagina, all are the accessory ducts, but the Graafian follicle is a follicle, so that is not included in the accessory duct. So several mammary ducts join to form mammary ampulla. Remember, several mammary ducts join to form mammary ampulla. Now, the next part of that chapter, it's gametogenesis, and you can expect one question from this portion. So gametogenesis is basically divided into spermatogenesis and oogenesis. That means formation of sperm and formation of ovum. So please write down with me in your copy, because that one is very much important for your board-based concept. For your board-based concept, that one is very much important. So what is spermatogenesis? Here I am describing it regarding the spermatogenesis process. So please write down, very much important for your board base. Spermatogenesis. So the genesis of sperm, that is formation of the sperm. So how it happened? You can expect 4 or 5 marks question in your board from this particular portion. Here I will include something, so please write down the entire of the concept. See, the sperm mother cell, the initial cell is the sperm mother cell. So sperm mother cell with the 2n of chromosome number. So the sperm mother cell is called as spermatogonia. Okay, spermatogonia, that is the sperm mother cell, or gonium. Spermatogonia, that is the chromosome number of 2n diploid. Okay, so that initially undergo, the sperm mother cell initially undergo into the mitosis. Please do remember, I am talking about initially it undergo into the mitosis, and you know what is mitosis. And by the mitosis process, it increase its number. So by mitosis, it increase its number. So here you can see, because mitosis, there is no changes in the chromosome number. Right now, see, the first one, it's called as the first one. This one is called as spermatogonium, or Spermatogonia A cell, Spermatogonia A cell, and this one is Spermatogonia B cell. This one is Spermatogonia B cell. One is A cell, another is B cell. Now, Spermatogonia A cell acting as a mother cell. Spermatogonia A cell is acting as a mother cell, and Spermatogonia B cell accumulates the nutrient from the surrounding. Spermatogonia B cell accumulates the nutrient from the surrounding, thereby it increases its size. And that one is known as primary spermatocyte. So there is no changes in the chromosome number. So this is known as primary spermatocyte. This is known as primary spermatocytes. So there is no changes in the chromosome number. Now, primary spermatocytes undergo the first meiotic division. Remember, I am talking about the primary spermatocytes. It's undergo into the first meiotic division. So, meiosis 2. So, sorry, first meiosis 1. And after the meiosis, what happened? After the meiosis, it produce N and N, because the chromosome number become reduced after meiosis. That thing you studied in class 11. So they are known as secondary. They are known as secondary spermatocyte. They are known as secondary spermatocytes. Okay, so primary spermatocyte converted into secondary spermatocyte by the meiosis 1. Now, these secondary spermatocytes undergo second meiotic division. It's undergo second meiotic division. So it undergo meiosis 2. It undergo meiosis 2. Thereby, it produce four haploid number of spermatid. Remember, these are spermatid. These are spermatid. So another very important concept, that from the mother cell, from the sperm mother cell to sperm mother cell to spermatid formation, it's called as spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis. Although, remember, this spermatid is not the functional sperm. So this spermatid need to undergo a physical modification process. They need to undergo in a physical modification process. So that physical modification, thereby they have their cap and they have their tail. So these are called as spermatozoa or spermatozoon. Clear? So this is spermatozoa. So please do remember that from spermatid to spermatozoa formation, it's called as spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis or spermateliosis. Spermiogenesis or spermateliosis. So this question may asked in your board for 4 to 5 marks. So please write down that one, because very important. If they ask you write down this process of spermatogenesis, then just you copy and paste that one. But you need to understand, initially the spermatogonia, that means the sperm mother cell. I'm talking about spermatogonia. So this spermatogonia is the sperm mother cell. So sperm mother cell undergo to the mitosis, and thereby it increase its number. Thereby it's increase its number. Okay, some of the mother cell become spermatogonia A cell, some of the mother cell become spermatogonia A cell, and some of the mother cell become spermatogonia B cell. Okay, so spermatogonia A cell continue as a mother cell, and spermatogonia B cell accumulate the nutrient from the surrounding. Thereby they develop into a primary spermatocytes. So here is no changes in the chromosome number up to the primary spermatocyte formation. After that, the primary spermatocyte undergo the first meiotic division. Thereby it produce two haploid secondary spermatocyte, two haploid number of secondary spermatocytes. So this secondary spermatocyte undergo the second meiosis division, and thereby it produce 4 haploid number of spermatid. Although these spermatid are not the functional sperm. So spermatogonia, that means from the sperm mother cell to that n number of spermatid formation, the process is known as spermacytogenesis, and that term not given in your NCERT book. But spermatid to spermatozoa. So what is spermatozoa? So spermatid undergo a physical modification process, thereby it have the cap and it has the tail. So thereby the spermatid from the spermatozoa, this process is known as spermiogenesis or spermateliosis. That question usually asked in your board. Define spermiogenesis or spermateliosis. That question usually asked in your board. So this question entirely may ask for 4 to 5 marks, or they may ask you that define spermiogenesis or spermateliosis. So if they ask about that definition, then what you need to discuss, that from the spermatogonia, which is 2n in chromosome number, they produce 4 spermatid, which is haploid in chromosome number after meiosis 2. But this spermatid, although have the chromosome number of n, that means haploid, they are not the functional sperm. So they need to undergo in a physical modification process. Through that, they converted into spermatozoa, which have a cap and a tail. In the entire process of spermatid to spermatozoa formation is called as spermiogenesis or spermateliosis. Clear? I think that one is clear. So please write down this.